Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar featuring the Grand in York. I'm Natalie Payne with PTG Consulting, and I'm so proud to represent this property in the United States to the luxury leisure market. So we're really glad that you've joined us today. We also have with us all the way from York, Susana. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you. She is the new leisure sales manager on property, but definitely not new to the Grand. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. I know a lot of people haven't met you, so we wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Natalie. So I've been with the Grand for about 4 years, on and off to have a beautiful little girl. But I love working there, love the place. But I've actually been in York for 10 years now. I'm original from Portugal. That's where the accent comes from. But when I moved to the UK, I fell in love with York and couldn't leave anymore. It actually been voted best place to live in the UK and most beautiful city in Britain. And that's me.
I can definitely attest to that. I was there a few months ago, I believe, and just was blown away by the history. I mean, the architecture, just everything that there is to do, which I don't want to steal any of your thunder, but it smells like chocolate most of the time. And that was probably one of my favorite parts. So we'll go ahead and turn the screen over to you. If anyone has any questions, please send them to me in the private chat, and we'll ask Susana at the end of our presentation. So take it away.
Thank you, Natalie. So you can see our beautiful Grand York here on your right. It's a stunning building. I'm really proud to work there. York is an amazing city, like I've mentioned. It is beautifully located in the middle of the country, halfway from London and Edinburgh, and it's in the largest county of the UK, Yorkshire, also known as God's own country. It has major connections with motorways and the major airports like London and Manchester, and it's actually just less than 2 hours from London King's Cross by train. So it makes it perfect for a multi-city itinerary or as a destination on its own. You can easily spend 5 to the nights to a week in Yorkshire because there's just so much to see and do for everybody of all ages. And when people ask me about York, I always say, imagine a city built 2,000 years ago by the Romans, invaded by the most famous Vikings, and that has 30 world-class museums within less than 2 square miles. Everything in a walking distance. Welcome to York. York has one festival for every month of the year. We have the best race course in the UK. Races are a very unique experience. If you're a race goer, definitely come on those dates. If not, avoid those dates because all of the city will be about the races. We have a number of championship golf courses in a very short distance. York is known as the most haunted city in Europe. Ghost walks are definitely a very good way to get to know the city. We have high street fashion brands in the York Designer Outlet. I definitely recommend the independent street shops in the York City Centre. The Minster is the largest Gothic cathedral in the Northern Europe. Definitely recommend this attraction. It's less than 10 minutes walking from the Grand. The views are amazing. The stained glass is just amazing. I'd like to also mention that I have partnered with some of the main attractions in York and in Yorkshire too. So if you are looking for unique private experiences for our guests, let me know and I can help with that. The Shambles is one of the most well-preserved medieval streets in the world, and a must-go if you are in York. And it was also inspiration for Harry Potter's Diagonal Alley. For TV and movie fans, there's a lot of very famous movies were shot in Yorkshire. The Viking Museum, it's experiencing to be in a real Viking village. Definitely recommend this one. And the city is surrounded by the best preserved medieval walls, so you can walk around all of the city, and it is just a really great experience. Like Natalie said, it does smell like chocolate here and then, and it's because Nestle still makes not less than 3 million Kit Kats a day, which, by the way, were invented in York, as well as York is in some other famous chocolates. And there's the York Castle, built in 1068. One I would like to remember, because also of our ties at the ground with the railway industry, the Railway Museum is the largest railway museum in the world and top 10 on TripAdvisor. Castle Hour. So once you start looking at Yorkshire, there's a lot of abbeys and stunning castles that you can visit, and Castle Hour is one of them. Most recently, Bridgerton, the Netflix TV series, has been shot there. It's really something for everybody in Yorkshire. The Grand itself was built in 1906 as a palace of business for the North Eastern Railway Company. And we are very lucky because when it reopened in 2010 as the only 5-star, only luxury hotel in the region, it retained most of the original features. They were actually brought to life. Think sweeping stone cases, acres of marbles. It's just a stunning building. It has 2 main restaurants. We have our very own concierge team that is there to help you with everything. The head concierge actually has the golden keys, and he replies to my email saying, "Consider it done, Susana." I'm very lucky. We have an amazing team on site. I myself am on site most of the time if I'm not out and about in the world promoting the Grand. And in 2019, we had a major refurbishment, and we had another 100 bedrooms, an arrivals lounge, which is perfect for groups. We have a cookery school, our very own cookery school, open in 2019, and I'll tell a bit more about it. We had the White Rose Lounge, you can see here on the top corner. And one thing I would like to recommend is to try our afternoon tea. It was awarded Best of the UK in 2019, and it's definitely worth it. So let me tell you a bit more about the Grand. So this is the Rise restaurant. It's our main restaurant. This is where we would have our amazing breakfast. You can have lunch here. Our dinner menu is also very good. Everything is locally sourced. It has a cocktail bar, an open kitchen, and our terrace, which is great for al fresco dining. In our terrace, we have the terrarium, which is great if you would like a bit more privacy. If you are with family and friends, you can have a meal here, or even if you are in a romantic date, because you have amazing views of the medieval walls. At the bottom, we also have our courtyard. It's open in the summer. It's very lively. It's great to have a drink outside. And most recently, we relaunched our fine dining restaurant, The Legacy. I'm really excited to tell you about this experience. I've actually tried it myself last night. My taste buds were dancing, I can say that. Our head chef has designed a menu that plays with the textures and with the flavors, and it's really, really good. We have an experienced sommelier that has paired the most perfect wines with the dishes on our 8-course tasting menu. And so this is an experience that I definitely recommend booking for our guests. At the Ground, we try, like I said, honor the legacy of the building. And this is our bar. We call it 1906. It's a great place, warm place, views of the medieval walls. It's a great space to be. A little detail I would like to mention. So the Ground itself is a landmark for the city. As I always say, some people visit York's landmarks, others stay in them. And there's always little facts to find about the Ground itself. If you're ever in York, I'd love to give you a tour of the Ground. And I'd like to point out, you see that plaster at the top with the flowers? So this was commissioned for the opening of the offices in 1906. And the logo of the company who did it was a bee. So they hid a bee in one of these flowers. So we often see guests there spending, just relaxing and trying to find where the bee is. So if you ever are in the Ground, I'll let you know where the bee is. This is the White Rose Lounge. It's a very flexible space. We have used it for afternoon teas, for private events, for meetings, and we also are now using it as a pre-dinner drinks area for drinks and canapes before you enjoy your tasting menu at the Legacy. Like I mentioned, it was built as a palace of business. So our two flagship meeting rooms are this one, the Grand Boardroom, and then my favorite, which I'll tell you in a second. The Grand Boardroom is just stunning. Amazing views of the Minster, of the medieval walls. It has all of the original parquet flooring, the oak panels, these very beautiful large windows, which are all over the hotel, and that's why we have so much beautiful natural light. A little fun fact on this room, the boardroom, this is where the elite of the railway used to have their boardroom meetings. The table was so big it had to be cut in half to be removed from this room. And this is interconnected with my favorite, the chairman's seat. This used to be the chairman's office. The ambience on this room is just amazing. It's perfect for private dining. It has a beautiful fireplace. It's definitely is one of my favorite spaces in the Grand. And here is our cookery school. Like I said, this is a really fun activity to do. It's kind of like being on MasterChef. The chef is very lively. He will do a demonstration. Then the chefs will come around. They will help you with doing the meal. And then at the end, you move to the room on the side and you enjoy your meal with a glass of wine or two. We have classes from 2 hours to half day to 3-day courses, beginner to advanced, and more than 56 courses from cuisine from all over the world. We benefit from having this amazing building, so we end up having the largest entry-level rooms in town. They start at 33 square meters. Like I said, in 2018 we had the Roman house. It's called Roman house because we found Roman artifacts when we were making that part of the building, and it's the one on your left that has the blue decoration. It still has that heritage feeling, but it has more of a modern twist. So the guests at the Grand can choose which side they want to be, and they all have their preference, and all of the rooms are unique, especially on the main building. You can upgrade to executive rooms and grand family rooms. They are more spacious, and you also get a few extra amenities like an espresso coffee machines. We do have rooms that suit everybody. So we have interconnecting rooms, accessible rooms, twin rooms, anything your guests might need. We then have our heritage suite, which has more space in the living area and gets extra amenities like complimentary minibar. We have one studio apartment, perfect for long stays, 3 nights or more, completely fully fitted kitchen. And remember, we have a 24-hour concierge team that can deliver whatever you would need. And also 24-hour room service if you prefer. It's perfect. It's a home away from home. And then my very favorite bedrooms at the Grand, our Grand Heritage Suites. Most of them have amazing views of the city walls or of the Minster. Some have these beautiful roll-top baths. They have a separate living area, so if you're staying with family or friends, you can host in your room. You could have a meal there without feeling awkward. And they're all in the main building. Some have skylights. They are all unique. You could stay at the Grand in the very same room category and never stay in the same room. And guests do have their preferences. Then we have the penthouse. It's on the top floor. It's an apartment size. It's beautiful. Look at that marbled corridor with the roll top bath where you can unwind at the end of the day after a busy day in the city and have amazing views. It's definitely worth it. And then one of my favorite places at the Grand, the spa. It was built where the vaults for the Northeastern Railway Company were. All of the valuables were there. And it still has those huge metal doors with the logo on the company. It has such a great atmosphere. It has a 14-meter heated swimming pool, a Nordic sauna, a steam room, a beautiful jacuzzi you can see there at the end, 5 treatment rooms, including one for couples, a relaxation lounge, and an area where you can actually order food. So you could have afternoon tea after you had your treatment. And then finally, I would like to talk to you about our apiary. As a company, we try to work in a sustainable manner, and this is just a good reminder as when you look after the environment, it will also look after yourself. So our bees, they do produce honey for us. It is incorporated in our menus, and we also get little lovely honey pots. I'm always on site unless I'm out and about in the world promoting this beautiful destination. If you need anything, I am here to help.
Thank you very, very much. Your passion is contagious. And I always learn a little bit more about the city. I can't wait to come back and really explore, the entire area. And I'm obsessed with Bridgerton, and I just finished The Last Kingdom. So I know that many of us in the US are. So there's just so much that is cool history there surrounding you
Absolutely.
guys. We had a few questions come in. There's so much to do, but how far in advance do we need to book dining and spa and the cookery and all of that?
In all honesty, my recommendation would be to do it at the time of booking, at the time of inquiry. Our cookery school gets booked up really quickly. Our spa very rarely has slots available on the day. And we have an amazing reservations team on site that will help you. They're very knowledgeable. But that being said, pandemic really kept us on our toes. We were always very busy, so we are used to last minute requests. So do not hesitate to ask at a short notice. We will always try our best to help you book your experiences at the Grand.
Okay, perfect. And I think you did mention some of it, but it is possible to just maybe take like an afternoon class at the cookery school, right?
Yeah, so we have 2-hour classes, 3-hour classes, full day classes, and they're all available online.
Okay, wonderful. And I think that they do that about a year out, from what I remember. So can go on there and see well in advance. I want to come for the Christmas markets too. So it's really a year-round destination, would you say?
Yes, absolutely. We have, like I said, one festival for every month of the year. There's always something to do in York. That's, for me, it's one of the reasons I love living here. I can go to the city center, and there's always going to be something happening, and I don't even need to pre-book anything because something will show.
Something's going to be
And we
different.
also have leisure packages. There's quite unique experience you can do in Yorkshire. So one of our packages, for example, it includes stargazing at the North Yorkshire Moors. So it's definitely worth having a look at those.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. That's all the questions that came in, but excellent job. It was really great to learn even more. And thank you to all of our travel partners watching. We hope to help your clients and pay lots of commission very soon. So thanks,
And
Susana.
thank
Yes.
you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye, everyone.